Okay, so we are going into like the main content of this presentation of this webinar. We are glad, like we feel like this is kind of a right opportunity for you guys to understand, like on the contents that we are making a walkthrough to you. Okay, now there is a huge difference between getting a job and planning your career. There is a thin line of a difference between a job and a career. Job is something is going to meet the immediate needs, whereas a career is something for a long run. Guys, this is a small difference that you need to understand between a job and a career. Most of the unemployed students can get a job in a call center, but that cannot be a career. So the career is something like they want to become a developers. Now we are here to give a proper navigation to you. We want to serve a kind of like a proper navigation for you to choosing your career in the IT industry. We all understand, like when we talk about the information technology, there is something a huge ocean of opportunities, but where you actually fit into it, that matters most. So before you exploring into the entire IT industry, when you just search in the Google, go and search in kind of like a IT opportunities, there are tons and tons of the opportunities that's going to display on your screen, and there are n number of pages in the Google that are going to come in front of you. But before you get into that, you need to have certain strategy in place, and to make that particular strategy, you need to have your own strength exploration. In which skills that you are actually good at, just focus on them, improve them. Today you are a little better on certain skills, work on it how you can make it as much into improvised manner, and ensure that you are going to be strong in that particular specific skill sets, and those skill sets are going to open you a window of opportunities. Okay, then let's go more into a kind of like what should be the factors that you need to consider while you are choosing a career in the IT industry, because this industry has been changing so dynamically since the last couple of decades. We all understand, like this IT has been booming very heavily in the last couple of decades, where all the technologies has been just replacing the previous technologies overnight. Overnight, it's just overnight. I really wonder, like most of the people don't even know about the COBOL today, which has been like used in the Indian mainframes in the very beginning stage, right? So most of the this generation candidates haven't even hear about the languages that existed. So they become like an extinct. But those are like a booming technologies of those era, right? So in the same manner, what exactly is actually booming and what exactly is the most demand that you have in the market? Okay, you need to nurture yourself in those aspects only. Okay, next slide. Now, before you considering your options in the field of IT, I recommend everyone to spare time for yourself and make a proper detailed self-assessment, which is something most important. Work out on your own SWOT analysis. I understand most of the people know about SWOT. Okay. Work on your strengths, your weaknesses, and what all the opportunities that you have, and what could be the threat factors. Make such a SWOT where it is something makes you and gives you a kind of like a proper visibility to choosing your career, rather than just taking up an option that comes in your way. Okay, I totally understand most of the candidates are very desperate of getting a job, so your desperation itself is not going to fulfill the purpose. Apart from the desperation, you need to do certain homework where you need to prepare your own SWOT analysis, make yourself a self-assessment instead of hearing from the third party or the second person that whether you are suitable for this particular profile or not. Okay, so ensure that yes, you are fit to meet in this particular profile. Then now all the information is in your hand, in your mobile, I can say. What exactly the content that has a huge demand in the market? Explore it, right? Please explore the high demand content, high demand subject, whatever it is there in the market. Okay, explore that and understand why the demand is more. Is it the only the demand or the supply is also both are in equilibrium or not? You need to understand like whether the demand and supply are in equilibrium or not. Should not be a kind of like the time now you start getting yourself trained in the technology and then that technology is going to be an absolute no. So explore into a market and understand like yes, you have all the opportunities in place and you are going to like take the right opportunity and making yourself suitable to fit into those opportunities. Now, when we get into the education and training, guys understand there is a huge difference between your academics talent and what the industry expectation is. This includes me to train myself despite carrying experience. We, every one of us, should have to get trained on a continuous practice. It's not something like the minute you are done with your academics, you are absolutely fit to get into the job roles. No. Now, you need to understand the huge difference between having only the academic and the theoretical experience. And we cannot consider as kind of a real-time projects like the projects that you have executed in your academics, because those are all like a kind of a replications. It's not something the real-time challenges that you are addressing. But the world needs the one who can actually address the real-time challenge. Once you onboard with any of the organizations, they throw you like a real-time challenge. It's not something like a use cases that going to give to you. You need to build on the real-time challenge where your skill sets are most important. And on top of it is like how you are able to drive the way to addressing that particular problem. Now, training is something most important apart from your education, because this is the area where you just keep on upskilling yourself. Now, on broadly, we want to talk because we don't want to get into like every look and corner of this particular information technology wing. Okay. Now, on broadly, when we categorize all the jobs, all the opportunities that are falling under either software development or falling under cyber security, this data science and analytics and network administration. Guys, when we come into a software development, now most of the candidates are aware like yes, they when we talk about the software development, they look out only a kind of a coding and now into the languages, and they stick to either into the front end technologies or the back end technologies, and you have to evaluate yourself like which path, or mean to say which segment you can make yourself strong when it comes into software development. And as we discussed earlier, we need to make in a way like one specific area you have to make yourself so strong enough so that that area is going to give you like a bunch of opportunities to explore. The minute you are an expert in specific area, that drives you to get into like a more and more opportunities. Similarly, when we talk about the cyber security, which is something a pillar and a backbone to most of the IT companies. This is also one of the area where any of you candidates are willing and you feel after your self-assessment, yes, you are suitable to make this particular area can be explored. Yes, again, tons of opportunities are available in cybersecurity. Now, guys, when it comes to the data science and analytics, we need to understand most of the current era is talking about the AI, right? And what should be needed for you to fit into the future technologies? Okay, just have again a self-assessment. So every stage I am insisting everyone to have your own self-assessment. The only reason is unless you don't make a proper homework, unless you don't put a paper and pen together and write by yourself, you will not able to land into the route that you are actually looking for. It's a puzzle. Let me understand. Let me make you to understand. This journey, choosing a career, is always a puzzle. The more you get yourself involved, dwelling yourself, okay, then you are going to find out the ways and means, and you will be having certain surprises, and you don't even believe like so many of opportunities are available with the skill sets that you acquire. So guys, next moving to the network administration. Without any network administration, none of the IT companies can run. Now you understand on the screen where I'm being showing you like a cyber security and a network administration are a kind of like a heart and the brain of all the IT. Unless these two are not in a place, so the first development is doesn't become any sense, and similarly the data science doesn't make any sense. Okay, end of the day, any product or anything that you develop, it has to come with certain securities and certain protections and your connectivity that matters a lot, right? Okay, so before we go like more and more into this technologies part, there is a poll again on your screen, and I want everyone to have an active participation on it. Now, the question is clear. Are you sure on what technologies you need to learn? Needed to specify on the technologies, but at least like all you guys who has joined today, are you very clear like on what technologies that you need to learn? Start your polls, please. Yeah, we request everyone to have an active participation before the poll gets end. Help us also to understand like where you guys are standing. More responses, guys. Can you have some more responses? It doesn't take anything other than just clicking yes or no button. Okay, we are just closing the poll now. And thanks for the candidates who shared your feedback, right? And we are clear, like when we go with a majority, like 75% of you are not clear about the technologies that you are sure about those technologies. Good. However, still there is a time for us to understand more. And I would like to introduce Mr. Nagul to take you like some more insights about the technologies that has been shown here broadly. Over to Nagul. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aditya. Hi, everyone. All right, already just Aditya covered the list of career paths in IT industry. So we gone through just the BTech 4 years in CSE, or it may be the EC background or any background, guys. So your interest is to settle in the IT industry, it means the software industry. There are n number of roles in the software industry. Maybe you can start your career as a programmer. You can start your career as a tester. You can start your career as a just the deploy like the DevOps team also. Even in case your industry is okay, maybe in the academics, I gone through the HTML concept. I'm very perfect in designing the web pages. Just you need to understand what exactly your interest. So we gone through the academic subjects, right? We gone through the programming languages. We gone through the databases. We have tested some applications. Maybe we have written simple codes for the testing, programming part, even the databases part also for networking also just to be gone through the few concepts. So just you need to understand what exactly your interest is. Okay, so maybe I'm good at actually the web development, like the web designing. So then I will tell you which path generally you need to choose. The first point is your interest, guys, but definitely I will tell you just what exactly the market is also expecting. Okay, so the first point is your interest. So in case if you are designing efficiently, then better you can go for actually the front end development, the website development. So those people are called actually the web developers. So in case if you feel like, okay, just I gone through the databases concept, I know how to store the data in the databases in the table format. I know how to retrieve the data, how to update the data. Just I gone through those concepts. In case if your industry is actually the database area, you are efficiently maintain the data in the form of the tables, then you can choose like a database developer. That's your interesting area. So for example, you've gone through the programming languages. It may be the C programming language, C++, Python, Java, any programming language, guys. The language is not a matter here, just the logic is matter here. So whatever the problem statement is there. So for example, simple problem statement is I want to add two numbers. That is a problem statement. For that problem statement, the language is not an important. Just you need the approach how to solve the particular problem. That's it. The logic is important. In case if you can able to think logic properly, then you can choose like a programmer or we can say the developer role also. So in case, okay, the website is ready, the application is ready, and you are interested to check that application and which means the list of features in the particular application. So in case if you want to check the quality, like whether the application is working properly or not, in case of the user entered some wrong data, whether really it is reacting properly or not, in case your interest is to check this kind of thing, then generally we can choose actually the tester role. So in IT industry, there are n number of roles, guys, n number of roles. It may be the web developer, normally just the programmer, or we can say the database developer, or we can choose even the testing department also. Or we can choose like after completion of the application, what we can do is we can deploy this application in the cloud itself to give the access to the worldwide. Right, after completion of our application, we will not store that application in our local machine, right? Definitely we need to give that application access to the worldwide. So then that is a different area, just how to deploy that application in the cloud itself. That is a different interest. So maybe just you've gone through these are your interest, guys. Maybe in your academics, you've gone through the SDLC, like the software development life cycle. So in the SDLC, which means to implement actually the software, what are the steps generally we need to follow? First, in the requirement, like in the IT industry, we need to collect the exact requirement from the client. So for example, I'm the client. I would like to implement one simple e-commerce application like Amazon, Flipkart, eBay. This kind of application I would like to implement. Okay, I would like to design one application and there I would like to sell some laptops only. So that's my own product. So similarly, what exactly we need to do is we need to collect the data from the client. That is the first step in the application development. We need to gather the requirements from the client. After that, we need to decide what are the list of technologies that's supposed to use for implementing this particular application. What are the hardware requirements are there? What are the best programming languages we can use for this one? What are the databases we can use for this one? What are the servers we can use for this one? So all these technologies we need to decide. That's your first step. You're gathering the requirements. Later, you're developing the application. Of course, definitely you will do some analysis and you will prepare some use cases and all. But the next step will be you will do the implementation part, which means you will write the code and you will write some databases queries to store the data into the databases and all. So once the application is ready, the next step will be the testing. So after completion of the application development, okay, whether really the application is working properly or not, we need to test it, right? So before giving it to the clients or before giving it to the customers, just we need to test that application. So the next step will be the testing part. After testing also, some other area is there that is actually the maintenance, which means from the client point of view, there may be a chance to get very frequent additions also. So today we may added 10 features in the application. There may be a chance to add few more features in that application later, right? So that is actually the maintenance. There may be a chance to add the extra features in that applications also. So application development will be like this, guys. Generally, we need to follow this particular area and the roles will be maybe the web developer, the programmer, tester. So different areas, even the database developers also, we have different areas. In case if you want to choose your path, the correct path, what you need to do is first you need to analyze what is your interest. That's your first point. In your academics, you are good at database area, you are good at testing the application, you are good at writing the logics, you are good at designing the applications. What is your interest? That is the first thing you need to choose. The second thing is, okay, what is the trending technology in the market? What is the trending technology and what is the future technologies? What is the future? What is IT future? That is also you need to remember. So these 2 points you need to consider while taking the path, definitely. Okay, the first point is easy, right? In your academics, easily you can just gone through the few subjects and easily you can analyze that point. The second point will be what exactly the industry is expecting. So all the technologies, guys, all the technologies, it may be the application development. Okay, so few technologies are there. Definitely every day they will do some changes in the technologies. Every technology is important only. But in that you need to choose the correct one. Your interest is okay, Nagul, I can say, like I would like to implement an application only. I would like to settle as a programmer. So I would like to write a programs and I would like to implement application. That is my interest. So if the application, okay, programmer is your interest, then generally you can choose the programming languages like Java, or you can choose even the C, C++, Python, or the .NET also. Of course, you can choose any one of the programming language. Similarly, in case your interest is actually the web-based application development only. Okay, you are good at designing the applications. Normally, the girls will prefer the designing web applications. But in case your interest is the beautification of the web application, then generally you can choose actually the front end technology. Front end is nothing but which is visible to the end user. Okay, in the web page, whatever the web page is visible to the end user, okay, that is completely designed by the UI developer, which means a web developer only. So in case if you are interested in that particular area, normally you can choose HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all these things. These are the just remaining the advanced frameworks, guys. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React is actually the library, and the Vue.js as well as the Angular also. No need to learn each and everything, but you need to start your career with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Of course, later you can continue with the any one of the library. So I think in the just a previous slide, Aditya covered a few things, right? Like in the night, definitely every day or every month or every year, definitely the technologies will change. Even the front end side also, today we have the React. Tomorrow we may have some ABC technology to design actually the web application. But the thing is, you need to learn all these things perfectly, then changing is very simple to you. For example, in case if they have like ABC technology after React, if you're confident, if you're confident on React JS, then easily you can learn actually the ABC technology also. Because whatever the new technologies are coming, that is just addition to the existing technology. In case if you're confident on existing technology, then easily you can upgrade even the new technology also. Okay, so one area is programmer. In case if you want to settle, you should be perfect in the programming language. Any programming language, not a problem. If it is Java, Python, Scala, C, C++, anything, because the industry people will check your logical programming skills. Most of the industry people will ask you your logic, not exactly, okay, write a program on Java itself or Python or Scala. Okay, no, nobody will ask you. So their concentration will be, okay, whether he can able to write the logic or not. That's the reason in case your area of interest is as a developer, as a programmer, better concentrate on the logic part. You can choose any programming language, better concentrate on the logic part. But in case you are interested in the specific language also, better write that logic in the particular language only. And your interest is front end, better starts with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you need to learn any one of the library. Okay, my suggestion, you can go for actually the React kind of thing. And in case if industry is expecting some other technologies in the front end, simply confidently you can say, boss, I'm confident in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, even I know React, then easily they will take you, because If you know actually one of the library, one of the famous library in the front end technology, of course, they can give the training on the particular technology, whatever the technology they are using. Okay. So in the backend side, which means the programming language side, of course, if it's core Java, of course, these are the list of technologies you're supposed to. But I told you just to concentrate on the logic part and the Hibernate, Spring Framework, Spring Security, REST, all these are the frameworks. So instead of writing the hard code and all, okay, the Java people provided some different frameworks. Okay, just you should know how to use those frameworks. But as a fresher, just you're supposed to concentrate on the logic part only. Similarly, in case if you want to settle it in a database area, okay, I know just how to maintain the database efficiently in the tabular format. Whenever we need the data, just to, you know how to retrieve the data properly, how to update the data properly, how to delete the data properly, then your interest is that particular area, you can choose actually the database. And just definitely in the industry, people will expect some database developers also. So there you can learn Oracle database, MySQL database, PostgreSQL database, MS SQL Server database. Of course, depending on the application, they will choose any one of the database guys. So my suggestion, you can go ahead and you can take any one database. If you know one database, then easily we can learn the remaining databases also. Just a matter of 1-2 days, guys, how to interact with the remaining database. For example, you gone through the MySQL, you know all the SQL queries, you know how to perform like inserting, deleting, updating, all these things. Then I would like to use the Oracle instead of MySQL. I would like to use actually the Oracle. Then what you need to do is you need to know how to interact with the Oracle instead of MySQL. That's it. But after connecting with the MySQL, sorry, Oracle, then the commands will be same. Inserting operations will be same. So that's the reason in case if you want to set it in a database area, then you can choose any one of the database. You should be perfect in the particular area and the remaining databases easily you can learn depending on the client requirement or depending on just your interview schedule. You easily can just go through 1-2 days concepts. Similarly, in application development, there are n number of tools, guys. So if you know actually the front end technology, back end technology, even the database also, to implement all these technologies, we need some tools, right? To write your programming, we need actually one IDE. Okay, you should be aware of that IDEs also. At the same time, after completion of your application, you need to test that application for testing tool. Okay, testing tools also required. That is a postman actually. Okay, so if you are implementing some API kind of things, of course, generally we will use actually the postman. The language is not matter here. I'm not talking about only the Java here. Even if you choose the Python technology or any other technology, of course, we can use the postman to test that particular APIs. Okay, so similarly, the Git is there after completion of your work in case if you want to store that work in somewhere in the cloud, or in case if you want to track the day by day progress. Today I have implemented one feature, tomorrow I have implemented okay maybe another feature. So like that, in case if you want to maintain that particular tracker, generally what we will do is we will store the data into the GitHub. Okay, so this is the one area, guys. And the second area is in case if you are interested in not application development, Nagul, I'm interested in actually the data analysis module. I want to become a data scientist. I want to design some, okay, I want to design some robots. I would like to write logic for the robots directly. Or I would like to just design some reports. Okay, just by one click, I want to generate some reports. For example, there is a census data is there. Okay, so some AP Telangana, some population information is there. Now I want to predict actually who will win in the next elections. Okay, YCP or TDP. Okay, or Janasena. So how many votes there may be a chance to get? I would like to predict based on the data. So in case if your interest is this one, even robotics also will work like that only, guys. Depending on your data only, whatever the audio you are giving, simply it will take that audio, depending on the data, it will do some analysis and finally it will give you your response. So your interest is actually the data analysis part. Of course, generally we will choose actually the Python programming language. In the Python programming language also, there are n number of ways here again. By using Python, again, here we can implement actually the web applications development. And there you need to learn different libraries like a Django module you need to learn. Even the core Python is also required. In case your interest is the web application development, but you don't want to get into the Java technology, of course, you can go for the Python technology also, but there is a different libraries there. So you can choose that one also. But in case if you are interested in the data science area, okay, I want to become a data scientist even after completion of the 2 years or 5 years also, then definitely you need to learn the different libraries in the Python area. Okay, so there is a SciPy is there, scikit-learn is there. So different libraries in the data science module also. Even the machine learning and AI technology also. The first one is actually the data science and visualization. In case if you want to generate some report kind of thing, different libraries, NumPy is there, Pandas is there, Seaborn is there. Like to generate actually the graphs, the data reports in the graphs, generally we will choose this type of libraries. But your interest is actually the completely the machine learning kind of thing. In case if you want to generate some robot, this kind of things, generally we can go for the scikit-learn libraries. Okay, and the NumPy pandas that will help here, even the matplotlib that will help here. Okay, so two ways, guys. One thing is in case if you want to go for the pure application development, okay, so you can go for the front end technologies, back end technologies, database area, one thing. And another path is actually the Python. Okay, so in the Python side also, of course, you can develop actually the web application. You can go for the data scientist and ML learning also. So these are the different areas we can choose, guys. Okay, so in the previous slide, as Aditya suggested, like you should be perfect in any one area, guys. Okay, so but of course, a few industry people will expect like a the full stack developers, but of course, you should be perfect in particular area, and then later you can continue with the remaining technologies also. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you, Aditya. Over to you.
Thank you, Nagal, for all the brief insights about each and every vertical. And guys, this is not something like we are going to stop the presentation. The conclusion here is like your assessment about yourself will drive you to understand more about this particular path, what you want to actually choose and go and explore. Okay, so you have to make a comparative things like what the market is expecting and what you have the skills with you and where you actually need to upskill yourself, meeting up the market expectations. Okay, so I want everyone to like make invest your time and make your proper detailed self-assessment before you just jump in search of a job. Okay, choose career again and again, not just a job. Okay, now moving forward, we just want to launch like another poll. Guys, you need to understand, no one is going to call you directly and conduct an interview, right? So all the things that you accumulated so far, your 22 years of your life or your 16 years of your education, it will be determined in only 2 pages of a resume, right? So this is something is going to make the recruiter making a eye catch certain skill sets and your keywords and his requirements are mapping your intelligence. Okay, makes the recruiters to choose your resume, shortlist you, and then call you for an interview. So before going to that, I want you guys to actively participate in giving your poll. Like, how many of you have like a professional resume? When it comes to the resume, most of the common mistakes that we do is like we copies one of our friends' resumes and we put over there, and whether we possess those skills or not, we want the 2 pages has to be filled with certain data. No, understand the importance of this. The reason is it is you who is the master to write about yourself. It's not some of the references or somebody's resume, some other keywords. Okay, it's you who is the master to write your resume. When you're writing about yourself, you need to be more clear and specific and what you're good at. That's only thing that you have to actually put in place. Okay, yeah, thank you. And over to Avinash, who will be taking you in a detailed drive about this resumes part. Over to Avinash.
Thanks, Aditya. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And I assume that you have certain questions so far. So I kindly request every single one of you to write down everything because we will have a question and answer session post the explanation part. Okay. So let us come to the resume. So why do we need a professional resume? So you will have a lot of thoughts in your mind. But the first thing is resume is the first thing a recruiter will look at. So even though if you have learned all the languages, I mean the technical languages which Nagul have explained so far, and even though if you have no decided on the career path which Aditya have just explained, so if you apply for any job, you might not get selected or you might not get an interview call. It's because of the simple thing that is resume. So by words, it is simple, but in reality, it is the toughest thing one can achieve. Having a professional resume is not at all an easy task. The first thing is you need to stand out of the competition. I mean, how can you do that? I mean, by selecting a good template, by including all the details which you have achieved so far in your 16 years of education life. So I am having almost more than 7+ years of experience. Nagul 10+ years of experience, and Aditya has 15+ years of experience. And all of us together have seen thousands and thousands of people who are applying for jobs, and we have interviewed them. So let me give you an example. So there are most of the times where people have brought their friends to their interview as well, and both of them were having same kind of templates, just the details of their names and mobile number and email ID are the different things. So all of them are having same template, same resume. So by looking at it, by having a glance of it for 2 seconds, we'll be rejecting it. Because unless you work on yourself, you won't be having a professional resume. You need to work on yourself, just like Aditya stated. So you need to do a SWOT analysis on yourself, and you need to create a professional resume which suits your profile, which suits your character. Basically, it's you. So the first and foremost thing you need to do is you need to do a SWOT analysis, and you need to create every single detail on your own. For example, if you have included the career objective as I want to become a customer success executive, a successful customer success a customer support executive, and if you're applying for developer role, just assume. So if you are you are applying for that, and if I am the recruiter, so if I see that okay, so you want to become a customer success executive, customer support executive, and you want to apply for a developer position, how would I even consider your profile? No, right? So in the same way, you need to make sure that you are applying for developer role with developer kind of you know objective. So if your objective is stating something and if you're applying for some other role, it won't match at all. Okay, so you have to market yourself. You have to market your skills. So these are the skills I have so far. These are the skills I have acquired so far. These are the technologies I have learned so far. And these are the achievements I have no, achieved so far. So all these details should be in the resume. And you have to remember that recruiter would not spend more than 2 to 3 minutes on your resume. Okay. Even though if you have listed out all the details, recruiter won't spend more than 3 minutes on your resume. He'll only have a glance on your resume and he'll decide whether to call you for an interview or whether to reject. So you'll be having very less time to impress the recruiter. So there are certain things which you need to remember while creating a resume. Let's have a look at it. Can we go to the next slide, please? So these are the key points you need to remember while creating a resume. So your resume should not be more than 2 pages. Preferably go with 1 page because ATS is one tool which eliminates the human interaction while shortlisting the resume. Most of the companies nowadays are using ATS to shortlist resumes. ATS means applicant tracking system. So this will read all your resume details and it will finalize, it will shortlist whether your resume is required, is suitable for the position or not. If ATS feels that your resume is suitable, then it will be shortlisted. If not, boom, your resume is not shortlisted and you won't get a call from the recruiter. So ATS is the first thing which comes between you and recruiter. So in order to get your resume shortlisted, you need your resume to be ATS friendly. That means it should not be more than 2 pages. You have to cut down things because everything you mention should be crisp and clear. For example, if you have done a project in your final year, there is no point in mentioning who is your reporting person is and who have you interacted with and what are the things you have accumulated to complete that project. No, just one word. Have completed so and so project with a team of 5. That's it. That's it. Nothing. Because you need to explain about the project. Recruiter won't be seeing the resume and he won't be able to understand your persona, right? So he needs to listen from you. He needs to understand and evaluate your skills by speaking about your resume. So you need to speak about your resume and recruiter will be understanding your skills, whether you have, he'll also analyze whether you have created your resume on your own or whether you have copied from someone else. So that is the second thing. And have seen a lot of resumes which have, a lot of colors like rainbow colors, more than rainbow colors actually. So more than rainbow colors have been included in their resumes. So by looking at it, not just me, almost 99.99% of the recruiters will just throw it. They won't even look at it. They won't even care to look into the details of their resume. So your resume should not contain more than 2 colors and should not contain more than 2 font styles. Heading should be 1 font style and the matter should be 1 font style, not more than that. Apart from your name, by the way. And if you have achieved a lot of hacker ranks and you have GitHub repositories which contains a lot of projects, make sure that you're mentioning those as well. This is the GitHub repository link and it should be made as an hyperlink in your resume, because if you're sending your resume as a soft copy, then the recruiter will be able to click on it and the recruiter will be able to view all your repositories. And do not skip any of your achievements. Achievements doesn't mean that you have qualified BTech with 50% or 60%. That's not an achievement, by the way. You have to be clear on what exactly is an achievement and what is just a process. And after entering all the details, you have to go through your resume for at least a minimum of 5 times. Make sure that all the details you have provided are clear and they make sure that they are not at all having any grammatical errors in your resume. Okay, so and also make sure that you are providing the mobile number and email clearly. If possible, make sure that you are providing the WhatsApp mobile number there in your resume so that it will be easy for a recruiter to contact you. And be very, very cautious while while providing those contact details. Those are the major things which will help you to build a bridge between a recruiter and yourself.